securities laws and regulations are applied, and advance clear rules of the road that encourage investment in our economy to the benefit of Americans. A top priority of my chairmanship will be to provide a firm regulatory foundation for digital assets. Through a rational, coherent, and principled approach, we will work to ensure that the United States is the best and most secure place in the world to invest and to do business. So, Mr. President, again, thank you very much for your graciousness in extending such a warm welcome to my family and me today in this storied room. I look forward to working with you, with colleagues in your administration, and with Congress to advance your agenda to bolster the economy and build on U.S. leadership of the global markets. So thank you very much. Our security.
Hey, what's going up, bull runners? Welcome back to the channel. Now imagine this. You're deep in the crypto game, stacking coins, chasing gains, but what if the code that you trust, your wallet, your blockchain, has a hidden trap waiting to drain everything that you've earned? Right now, as you watch this, the crypto world is buzzing with shocks that could change how you invest forever. A secret backdoor was just found in a major blockchain's code, a whale's making millions without lifting a finger, and massive shifts in Washington could skyrocket digital assets or crash them. Time's ticking, and you need to know what's happening today to protect your portfolio and seize the opportunities flooding in. Stick with me through this video because we're going to be breaking down the biggest crypto headlines in plain English, showing you why they matter and how you can stay ahead of the curve. And here's the kicker. Stay with me until the end and you'll get an exclusive access to our free ebook packed with altcoin secrets that could unlock the next big win for your wallet. Plus, we will be jumping over to X to find out all the breaking news that's happening in the financial world today. And we will, of course, be jumping into the charts for XRP at the end of this video as well. If you're just here for the charting, feel free to fast forward for that. In this video, we are going to update you with the massive resistance and support levels for XRP. We're also going to go over our short-term and long-term momentum waves. We will also take a look at Bitcoin in the charts. We have now officially solidified a break above the zero line on our long-term momentum wave. Very exciting news there on the daily charts. We will also take a look at the April 2025 crypto calendar for you, keep you updated what to expect this week. And we'll also go to Forex Factory and determine what important news you need to be aware of in the financial markets. And so much more in today's video. So if you're like most people where you don't have the opportunity to spend hours a day going through all of this information and condensing it down, that's what we do for you. So just make sure you subscribe today. And if you're feeling bullish about this current bull run, let me know by commenting 777 down below. But first, let's head over to CoinMarketCap and check out the overall health of the crypto market today. Checking in right now, we're at $2.9 trillion, up 6.25%. That's what we've been talking about, making a new higher high. Needed to break above 2.8 trillion. It has now done that. The real move we're looking for is breaking above 3 trillion. Will that be coming in the next 24 hours? We'll definitely pay attention. This move to the upside comes along with some very exciting volume, $124 billion worth of crypto volume today. And 2.92 trillion, just double checking on that. As you see, we are on our way up to that $3 trillion mark. This was the level that we've been talking about, the April 2nd high. We needed to break above that. And check this out. We've even now broken above the March 26th of 2025 high as well. So we're going to need to zoom out to the 1-year chart here. And as we can see, we had a high, then a new lower low, then a new lower high, and then a new lower low. And now we officially have a new higher high, not just on this smaller time frame, which we barely eked out recently, but now we have an official new higher high. We will obviously need to see continuation over the next 24 to 48 hours to see where we're going. But we do have new market structure officially on the daily charts for the total market cap of crypto. Fear and Greed Index taking a huge jump today, all the way up to 52, sitting in the neutral level. Yesterday was in 38. Last week was down at 29. Altcoin season, though, it's still not here. Just Bitcoin pump season. It is full on orange Bitcoin season. We've even dropped now to 14 out of 100. We've been sitting at the 15 levels, but now it is at a newer low. And that is coinciding right here with Bitcoin dominance, now up to 63.5, up 2.67%. And in some very promising news here, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we've been talking about, tracking the Bitcoin ETFs and how much volume is coming into these, watching for the pump. We have found that Bitcoin ETF tracker does precede the moves for Bitcoin. So as we can see here, last week there was a big day to end the week, even though there was a really harsh day before that. So last week basically zeroed out, and I'll show you that here on the larger scale. But as we can see, yesterday's numbers came out, and that is indicating a $447 million inflow to the Bitcoin ETFs. And the day before that, $381 million. So now when we zoom out and take a look at the weekly, as you can see, last week it was to the upside $11 million, but this week already up $828 million to the upside. We obviously see Bitcoin starting to pump. So as you can see right here, this gray line is the price of Bitcoin, and then the orange lines are the inflow to the ETFs. And as you saw right here, back in October, it started pumping money into the ETFs. November, then we started breaking those highs, and then it started selling off, and that's when we've been recently getting these lows. But the exciting thing is this is the biggest volume inflow in only 2 days of reporting since the week of March 16th. So we'll continue to track this for you. Very exciting. If we can have a continuation next week of institutional inflow into the market, fantastic for us. Top 5 trending coins according to CoinMarketCap today. Number 1 is Bitcoin up 5%. Number 2, Ethereum up 11%. XRP at number 3 up 5%. Solana up 7%. Number 4, and Sui coming in at 21% in the last 24 hours at number 5. And top 5 cryptos by total market cap. We got Bitcoin, of course, number 1 at $1.8 trillion. Ethereum surpassing $200 billion market cap again, finally today, up at $215 billion. Great job, Ethereum holders. Tether coming in at number 3, $145 billion. And you know that they just minted an additional billion, so giving themselves some more. Then we have XRP coming in at number 4 at $129 billion. How long will it take for XRP to overtake Tether for that number 3 spot again? BNB coming in at number 5 at $87 billion. And we'll go ahead and cover Solana as well at number 6 at $76 billion, giving a run to BNB. All right, kicking us off over here at X, let's go ahead and look at the April 2025 calendar and what's going on this week. Today, we did have the Tesla earnings call, and unfortunately, earnings are down quite significantly for Tesla over Q1. Will they rebound over the next couple of quarters? We will find out. It also came out today that Elon Musk does not agree with the tariffs, and he would like for Trump to reduce the tariffs. And believe it or not, Trump said today he's bringing down the tariffs. So very interesting over there. Also, tomorrow, U.S. Beige Book, Meta earnings call, and Bithumb is delisting ZBCN. So keep an eye out for that. Also coming up on Thursday, Google's earnings call, Microsoft earnings call. So big news in traditional finance markets this week. And on Friday, the virtual asset TF second roundtable. And since we're going to financial news, let's go look at the traditional finance calendar and the news that's coming out. So Wednesday at 6:45 a.m., we have manufacturing and services PMI coming out tomorrow morning. Will it also be a beat? We've had really very successful news coming out over the markets the last week. When we go back 1 week, we had retail sales information come out. Fed Chair Powell obviously was the only bad news last week. Unemployment claims were down. So as you can see here, all green numbers last week. And now we're here on the week of April 20th through 26th. Will we also continue the green? Crypto's rebounded today. Stock market rebounded today. So let's hope some real positive news comes out the rest of this week, and we will keep you updated on this. Make sure you subscribe today. Also over on X, and you can follow us, by the way, at Altcoin Pro and the Bull Runners channel, but Altcoin Pro underscores how you can find our training program, our crypto course on X.com. Trump's SEC chair, Paul Atkinson, officially sworn in today, says digital assets are a top priority, promising a rational, coherent, and principled framework. Crypto's regulatory moment is here. This is very exciting for everyone involved in the crypto industry. And as you know, on this segment, we've been going back and forth with TradFi and crypto and TradFi and crypto and bringing it because it is merging together. A lot of people are saying today crypto may have decoupled from the stock market. That's only time will tell on that. But this is also related to crypto and traditional finance. But Trump says, I have no intention of firing Fed Chair Powell.
Contention regarding Jerome Powell, because here, economic writer Hassett a few days ago said that you and people in Wales are studying this idea of possibly going to report term end.
No.
Do you have any plans on doing it?
None whatsoever. Never did. The press runs away with things. No, I have no intention of firing him. I would like to see him be a little more active in terms of his idea to lower interest rates. This is a perfect time to lower interest rates. If he doesn't, is it the end? No, it's not. But it would be good timing. She could have taken place earlier. But no, I have no intention to fire him.
So Trump toning down his rhetoric a little bit, because if you remember, just a couple of days ago, we covered preemptive. This was his tweet or his post over on Truth Social. We're just absolutely ripping Powell, saying preemptive cuts in interest rates are being called for by many. With energy costs way down, food prices, including Biden's egg disaster, substantially lower, and most other things trending down, there is virtually no inflation. With these costs trending so nicely downward, just what I predicted that they would do, there can almost be no inflation, but there can be slowing in the economy unless Mr. Too Late, a major loser, lowers interest rates. Now, Europe has already lowered their interest rates 7 times. Powell has always been too late, except for when it comes to the election period when he was helping Sleepy Joe and Kamala Harris. So it's interesting to see the financial civil war, as I've been calling it, the Federal Reserve versus Donald Trump. That is a real thing that's happening. Will Jerome Powell finally lower interest rates? Only time will tell. The problem is at this point, because Trump has talked so much trash to Jerome Powell, out of spite probably is going to try to not reduce those rates, because then it makes Trump look like a winner. And we know that Jerome Powell is not a big fan of Trump. Hey, bull runners, are you feeling FOMO about this bull run without the right financial support? We're here to change that. We're not just about funding, we're about growing your business together. Whether you're investing in crypto, kicking off a new startup, managing your existing business, or looking to expand, we have personalized funding that meets your exact needs. Imagine starting your business or getting capital to invest $100,000 to $250,000 at 0% interest. That's not a dream, it's what we do. We've helped countless entrepreneurs like you with 0% interest funding without needing personal funds, income verification, or collateral. With just a 680 credit score, you qualify. We understand that your business can't wait, so take advantage of our quick funding approach. We look beyond the credit score with inclusive approval process that sees the big picture of your business or investment potential. Our flexible repayments are tailored to match your business cycles, ensuring you can manage repayments without strain. With access to our extensive lending network of over 5,000 options, we're committed to finding the perfect match for your business or investing needs. Plus, you'll have our dedicated team by your side, guiding you through every step of the funding journey. Whether it's buying crypto, hiring new employees, or launching a new product, we're committed to your success. Click the link to connect with our expert advisors and secure your business's future now. And on top of that, just in today, also, Bank of America says it doesn't expect interest rates to cut this year due to inflation. So Bank of America and the Federal Reserve and the banks are trying to say that there's traditional inflation going on in the market. Remember, you can't bring down interest rates unless inflation has gotten under control, because then people start buying and spending and it gets out of control again, and then you start to have inflation again because of the supply and demand, right? So if we lower interest rates, that means that a lot of companies, large and small, can start borrowing money. That even means that mom and pop shops, that also means regular people that want to buy a house. If interest rates come down, people find a way to spend money, which then drives prices up because of the demand. So this is interesting talk coming out of Bank of America today, along with what Trump was saying, wanting to have these interest rates cuts, Bank of America saying no, and we also know Jerome Powell holding strong to his will. And in the news today, this was a really interesting one as well. World Economic Forum launches investigation into Klaus Schwab for financial misconduct days after he resigned as chairman. Now, if you've been following this channel long enough, you know that we talk about the World Economic Forum all the time, because they're the ones that are the secret government behind money, connected to also the Federal Reserve, right? They're the ones that set monetary policy in advance. And this guy also was trying to set social policy and so on. Their whole big group is like a private underground government that's trying to dictate how the world runs. It's actually crazy. The new world order is not real, but it's real, but it's not real, but it's real. But this guy was the head of it. And recently he had to step down. But now there's even more information coming out that they're in financial trouble because of the fact that Trump took away all of that funding, if you remember, like USAID and all these. And he also straight up just said, I'm not funding the World Economic Forum anymore. So the World Economic Forum is running out of money, but Klaus Schwab is one of the richest guys in the world, and people are finding out how he was actually getting that money, which may be from stealing from the World Economic Forum. So we'll continue to follow up on that. But what's even more, this guy's supposed to be the bad guy, the dark, sinister, evil overlord of the New World Order. Well, the new guy's even worse. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Now, obviously, this is the picture everyone's posting because he's got a red eye. He looks like the Terminator or something like that. But this is the guy who worked at Nestle and said that no human should have access to Nestle unless they buy, or Nestle, no human should have access to water unless they buy it from us. It's a commodity. It's not a right. So yes, kind of the perfect villain to fill in the spot of the previous villain. These guys are absolutely crazy. And as you may have heard in the past, what happens when USDT mints more money? We get pumps. And sure enough, as you see, Bitcoin is on the rise today. Very exciting there. And they also, that is the USDT, minted an additional $1 billion worth of USDT, coinciding with this exact moment of the pump. And in a crazy twist in the news, Oregon's Attorney General is suing Coinbase, claiming that XRP is an unregistered security. By offering XRP, Coinbase is in defiance of Oregon state law. They cannot stop trying to come after XRP. It is absolutely awful. All right, guys, and we got to give a shout out to Raoul Paul because he continues to really harp on this here about how Bitcoin follows the global M2 money supply with a 12-week lead time, as he says here. Not sure, but looks cute, might delete later. Maybe, just maybe, it was this easy all along. If it works, it will definitely prove that liquidity is the dominant factor still in the markets, not tariffs, not politics, not rates, not interest. Insert your narrative. And when we take a look at this chart right now, the black line is the M2 money supply, and the red line or pink line is the Bitcoin price. And as you can see, it's starting to tick up just like the M2 money supply did with a lag time of 12 weeks. So if Bitcoin does stay on this trajectory coinciding with this global money supply, we're looking at $140,000 Bitcoin shortly as in this year. And this is really exciting. On a positive note for Coinbase, even though they're getting sued, Coinbase confirms it's considering applying for a U.S. federal bank charter, a move that could let it offer traditional bank services like deposits and loans. So could Coinbase become the very first crypto bank? That would be very exciting. And I thought this was a fantastic idea. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent calls for nationwide financial literacy, meaning teaching it in schools when kids are younger. He says everyone should care about financial literacy.
Everyone should care about financial literacy, whether you are a student with a summer job or a part-time job during school, whether you're in college, whether you're starting your career, or whether you are at the end of your career. Making good financial choices creates economic security. And look, it's fun. You learn about the markets, you learn how to properly allocate resources, and there's a big payoff over the long term for something you can do early in your career.
All right, now jumping over to the first major headline, XRP Ledger Foundation spots crypto stealing backdoor in the code library. So I went through this article and broke it down. So basically, the XRP Ledger Foundation just uncovered a crypto stealing backdoor in the key JavaScript library used to interact with XRP Ledger blockchain. In simple terms, this was a hidden piece of code that could have let hackers siphon off funds from users' wallets. But the good news, they caught it and they fixed it before any major damage was done. And the reason this matters is because XRP price has been on a fire, up 300% since Trump's election last November, thanks to its focus on fast, cheap cross-border payments. But this scare shows even trusted blockchains can have vulnerabilities. If you hold XRP or use its ledger, this is a reminder to double check your security, use hardware wallets, and keep software updated. It also boosts XRP's credibility since the foundation acted fast, which could keep investor confidence high. So some scary news early on when this big rumor came out that it was a big deal, and it was, but obviously the XRP team stepping in and fixing that as soon as possible. And here you can see the mysterious code. Our system detected some odd code in these new packages. here's what it identified in the file version 4.2.4. It all looks normal until the end. What's this? Check validity of speed function. And why is it calling a random domain called ox9c.xyz? Let's go down the rabbit hole. And the foundation added that the several XRP Ledger ecosystem projects, including XRP Scan, First Ledger, and Gen 3 Games, confirmed that they were not impacted by the incident. And also in a crazy play here, Solana Whale sits on $153 million profit after 4 years staking play. Absolutely legend here. Look On Chain reported that the whale may have started offloading tokens, sending 100,000 of them to Solana. So a Solana whale who staked a huge chunk of SOL tokens 4 years ago is now sitting on a jaw-dropping $153 million profit. They locked up their tokens, earned staking rewards, and watched Solana's price soar, especially after Trump named SOL for the U.S. crypto reserve. And the reason this matters is because Solana is a top player for NFTs, DeFi, and meme coins with super fast transactions and low fees. This whale win shows the power of staking as well, earning passive income by holding your coins in a network. But it's not all rosy. Solana whales recently dumped 30 million in tokens, causing a 6% price dip. If you're eyeing Solana, staking could be a smart long-term play, but watch for whale moves that can make the market shift. And if you're one of those people out there that love to find huge rewards, not just play the meme coin game or the long-term buy and hold, don't forget, go to the link down in the description and get started today with Altcoin Pro University. We have an entire section dedicated just to DeFi, how to maximize yield farming and making money, whether it's bull market, bear market, doesn't matter. Click the link down in the description, join Altcoin Pro University, get your workbook here, and then go through all the different classes, become an expert on how to do things like this whale just did with his Solana tokens. And you could be one of the thousands of members that are on our team worldwide. Can't wait to see you down there. Sign up today. And believe it or not, Solana briefly flips Ethereum in staking market cap. As many whales have turned to Solana for staking plays, the network briefly flipped Ethereum in the staking market cap. On April 20th, the blockchain overtook Ethereum in stake token value after reaching $53 billion. Still, the event was short-lived as Ethereum recovered. So congratulations to the legend on the Solana for the 4-year staking play. Jumping over to XRP in the charts, we're going to zoom in a little bit. We're here on the daily charts, just so you are aware. And as we've been talking for many days, the spider line, for those of you that are not aware, let's jump to the weekly charts. If you take the drop from 2018 and you draw a ray from each one of the candle tops to the center line here, which was the peak of 2021 back in April on the 12th, and you draw a ray from the starting point and middle point here, it gives you rays out into the future, which actually predict the future of XRP price, which is pretty spectacular. We can take a look here on the daily charts. The current resistance that we're running into actually comes to us from the ray from January 22nd of 2018. But we have some really good news coming into play for XRP. Number one, we are getting ready to break this spider line, $2.24, which is a resistance line. And historically, it's been a support line for us. But if we can break this again, make our way up, our next level is 30 cents to the upside, $2.50. That is going to be fantastic. We are also getting very, very close to breaking above the zero line on our long-term momentum wave for the daily charts. If you remember, we broke down below this level here back on February 4th and have been in bear style territory ever since then. This will be the first time poking above the zero line in the next 24 to 48 hours since that drop below on February 4th. And the good news is, we talked about this yesterday, but the zero line on Bitcoin had been breached officially yesterday. But today we talked about in the video yesterday how we needed a confirmation candle to the upside. And sure enough, we got it. Now, at this time, we have a significant rip to the upside. And as you all know that you've been watching this with me for a long time, I don't like it when the market rips that hard, that fast. I mean, it's very exciting when you're doing day trading. And speaking of day trading, if any of you guys out there are good at getting into the markets, day trading, ups, downs, all of that, we have now partnered with Blowfin as well. Very exciting. We can get you an additional bonus if you're looking for a new outlet to do your trading on. there is a link down in the description. Go ahead and partner up with us over there on Blowfin. We do make a little commission off of you getting started with Blowfin, and that's so you can help produce more videos like this. But going back here, there is a possibility that we do come back down to about $87,000 and bounce back off of the 10 exponential moving average. Now, this fair value gap will get filled. I'm not telling you that it won't get, I'm telling you it will get filled. Will it be tomorrow? Will it be this week? Time will tell. But more realistically, since we're starting this move to the upside, people are getting a little euphoric. There is a bit of excitement coming back into the market. What I would like to see is we push to the daily fair value gap to the upside back at $103,000. We have our long-term momentum wave indicating we are back in bullish posture. Very exciting there. Now, the one thing that I'm also worried about is our short-term momentum wave has maxed out at 100. There is a likelihood that it comes back and resets. Now, the exciting thing about this is we could just consolidate for a couple of days while this resets. As long as this stays green in the above, that's what we want. We want to be above here. We don't want to drop back down below. And in the most exciting news possible, in my personal opinion, on the weekly charts, and this is why I'm thinking that 103 level is probably where we're going. On the weekly charts, our short-term momentum wave, as you saw on the daily, it has actually maxed out at 100, so we might have a quick little dip, so we might be trading sideways here. We'll keep an eye on that. But this is right here, our short-term momentum cycle, shaft trend cycle, has turned up green. Now, let me take a look. When's the last time it turned up green on the weekly chart? And this takes forever to have come together. Well, the last time was September 9th, and that's when Bitcoin was trading at 55,000, and it continued on a rip all the way up into the $100,000 range. Now, coinciding with that, our long-term momentum wave also reset around this same area. So on the weekly charts, we are looking extremely bullish as far as I'm concerned. And I've been talking about how I'm very bullish on the longer term plays regardless. We did have to go through quite a bit of suffering. I will have to agree with you all on that. Let's take a look from the most recent high to our most recent low. What are we getting into? The other thing that's interesting is if you look at the golden pocket, the 618 to the 786, which is this whole area here, we're getting close to that 103 range. So if price were to run up here, get to the 786 line, and then give a little wick up to 103, filling in the fair value gap right above it, I can see that happening. Now, I'm not saying it's happening today, tomorrow, or the next day, but there is good signs that we could be ripping and continue on. This fair value gap that we see here, these could very likely be filled in the future, but they will end up getting filled. So back to XRP, same scenario here, right? We had that rip to the upside, rejecting off of this level. This is actually the 1, 2, 3rd time that we've rejected off this spider line. We are potentially coming back to at least fill in the gap here. If we were to fill this gap, that would be totally fine. In fact, there's even a 30-day exponential moving average right here that could fill. Doesn't have to, 'cause to the upside, we do have a fair value gap sitting right here. That gets us up to the $2.30 level. Then we also have a fair value gap sitting here at $2.40. And unfortunately, on the daily charts, that is all of the fair value gaps we have to the upside. Go ahead and flip on the 3-day chart here. The 3-day fair value gap gets us up to $2.35. Let's look at the weekly. No fair value gaps to the upside on the weekly. So that is fair value gap, a little bit of information for you there. Now, as we continue making this move, we are getting extremely close, like I said, crossing over the zero line on the weekly charts, or on the daily charts, sorry, checking in on the weekly charts. We can see we are still in bullish territory on the weekly, and that's what we've been talking about. The one thing I'm really waiting for is the XRP short-term momentum wave to turn up on the weekly chart. I was hoping that last week would have been a green candle that would have indicated that we could have started our weekly move up for XRP. Unfortunately, this week so far, 4 days, 23 hours left though, is green. And last time that the shaft trend cycle reset for XRP was here, October 28th, and that was right before the rip for XRP as well. So on the weekly timeframes, when the move starts and continues, it rips pretty significantly when it coincides with the long-term momentum also being bullish. Checking in on Ethereum here, as we can see, Ethereum very well could have bottomed here at this $1,400 level. Now, unfortunately, on the weekly chart, it is definitely still showing bearish momentum. So there's going to be a struggle to get all the way back up here. Because look, last time it was in the red, it didn't do anything. And then it popped green and boom, it had an explosion. But there is some exciting news. This short-term trend cycle has turned to the upside. Last time the short-term trend cycle turned to the upside was September 9th. Even fighting bearish long-term momentum, it still made a very significant move from the 2300s all the way up into the 4100 level. Let's take a look at Solana. Take a look at this. Solana has already been on the move to the upside. Solana was continuing to ride this trend line, bounced off of it, making its move to the upside. Currently on the weekly charts, it is still in bearish posture. It is below the zero line on our long-term momentum wave. However, as you can see, the weekly chart has turned to the upside. Last time it turned to the upside, September 16th, 2024, and made its move. And at that time, Solana was trading at $136, moved its way all the way up into $260. Now, at that time, it was actually in bullish posture on the weekly, so it is fighting some negative momentum here. And in absolutely crazy news, Altcoin is leading the entire market, absolutely ripping, potentially bottoms here. So the lowest low as of recent was 19 cents, basically 20 cents here, and it's making its way up. It's already at $1.13, nearly a dollar move to the upside for Altcoin. Not enough data because it's such a new coin to be able to do much. As we can see here on the daily, though, we are in bullish posture on the daily. Shaft trend cycle reset to zero, made its move to the upside. And as you can see right here, there was a nice move to the upside as price action as well. Had a little reset. And now we're starting to make that move to the upside. There is still a bit of time left to get all the way up to the maxed out level of 100. So we'll continue to follow that. So we got green long-term along with green movement to the upside. Watch Altcoin. Looking at SUI here. SUI on the daily has now crossed over the zero line in bullish territory. Short-term momentum has popped to the upside, maybe needing a reset before the next move to the upside. Looking at the weekly, though, this is looking great. So it reset to zero. And it's got a lot of room to move. Last time, SUI reset to zero and started its move July 29th. And SUI made its move all the way up from the levels of 70 cents all the way up to $5.25. So we're waiting for the weekly chart to flip to the upside for XRP. As I've been telling you guys, I like these higher time frames. When we're taking a look at it, unfortunately, it takes forever for a weekly chart to make a move. I mean, we're talking 3-4 months. But now it is ready to make a move. You're seeing that in many other coins that it's already moving to the upside. We do have some price action to the upside, and we haven't even started with our momentum indicator. So keep an eye out for XRP. Like I said, if you want to do any day trading, you want to short the market, long the market, click the link down in the description to get started for Blowfin. If you need some money for your business, click the link down in the description for our funding options. We're here to help you in all things finance.
Hey, bull runners, check this out. If you want to learn how to find the next 10x, 50x, or even 100x altcoin in this video, listen to this. Our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1 and is currently still up over 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. And the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called SUI, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University. Just go through the link in the description below, get in right now, watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers,